Happy quiz review, everybody. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into it. So we are going to find the slope of each line, okay? So remember, when we are given a graph and we have our two pretty points, we're just going to draw that little triangle. Okay, always start at your leftmost point and go to your next point. So we're going down 4 and to the right 1. So then our slope would be -4/1. Okay, and that's our answer. Or simplify it, sorry, to -4. Okay, alright. For the next one, number 2, start at our leftmost point, and we're going up 1, and then to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this time we have a positive 1/5. Okay? So that's how you do those two. Okay. For 3 and 4, we need to use the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we need to determine what is our y2 and our y1 and all that fun stuff. So as always, I like to make my first point my x1s and y1s. So x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay? And then we're just going to follow it exactly into our equation. So 18 minus, and then our y1 is a -15 over, and then x2, 7 minus 13. Okay? Since we have a negative, or minus a negative, we're going to be adding. So 18 plus 15 will give me 33 over 7 minus 13 will give me -6. And yes, this can be simplified. So in your calculator, if you press this n divided by d button, it's going to give you a fraction, and so you'll just put 33 over negative, whoops, not a minus, but a -6. Okay, and then it will give you -11/2. And so it simplifies it for you. And that's your answer. Okay? Alright, let's try the next one. So we have our x1, our y1, x2, y2, -5 minus -2 over 5 minus -12. Okay? Alrighty, so positive, 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 right? Cool. So -5 plus 2 gives me -3 over what looks like 17. And so that's your answer. Alright. For number 5, find the slope of each line. So when it gives it to us in y equals mx plus b form, which is exactly what it's done, y equals mx plus b, all we need to do is figure out what is in front of our x, and that's going to be our answer. Okay, so another way we can write this is 1x minus 3. And so what's in front of our x? It's a 1, so m equals 1. Okay, and then what's in front of our x in this one? That's right, that -1/4. And so there's our answer there. Okay, so those should be super easy. If you get those wrong on the quiz, I will make fun of you. Not actually, but secretly. And not secretly in front of everybody. Just kidding. Kind of. Alrighty. So next we need to write the slope-intercept form of each line given our slope and our y-intercept. Okay? So we are still going to be using this equation. And we are just going to substitute the information in. So remember, our slope is our m, and our y-intercept is our b. Okay? So that's literally all that we're doing. So y equals 2x minus 1. Okay? Next one. mb. So y equals 1/4 x minus 3. Next one. mb. So y equals 1/2 x minus 1. Okay? So, if nothing else, you should get these two right. They are super easy, and I believe in you guys, and you will be given this equation, okay? Alrighty, next one. So, 10 and 11 are a little bit more tricky, but we have been doing these since Unit 1 for literal equations, so I believe in you guys. Alright, so we need to get y equals mx plus b. This is obviously not in y equals mx plus b form. So we need to subtract 2x from both sides to get negative 7y equals 14 minus 2x. Then we are going to divide everything by negative 7. So that's going to cancel. So y equals, what is 14 divided by negative 7? It is negative 2. And then negative 2 divided by negative 7 will just give you positive 2 over 7x. And that's your answer. Alright, for number 11, we need to do the same thing. So we are going to subtract 2x from both sides. So y equals 8 minus 2x. And hey, look, there's no simplifying in that one. So this is our answer. Alrighty? Okay. Next, sketch the graph of each line. Alright, so remember, this is my y-intercept, and this is my slope. Okay? So we start at 4. And then it tells me to go down 7 to the right 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And since I can't go down 7 or up 7, I can only have 2 points on this one. And that's perfectly okay. Alrighty, next one. Negative 2/3 x plus 0. Anytime you just have your slope and an x, just add 0 to remind yourself that we are going to start at our origin. Okay? So now we're going to go down 2 to the right 3. Okay? And then the opposite of that would be up 2 to the left 3. And the reason this works is because if we started at our leftmost point and went down 2, 1, 2, and to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, we end up with the same point. Okay? So if you're ever not completely sure about this, just make sure that you try it the other way. Also, since our slope is negative, if we put a little person at the top at our leftmost spot, they should be going down. Okay? Same with over here. Put a little person at the top, they should be going down. Okay? Because on your homeworks, I saw a lot of people putting a positive slope when you had a negative one. Okay? So if you're not sure, draw a little person at your leftmost spot, see which way they would go. Alrighty. Next. Okay. So for our next ones, there are 2 ways we can do this. So I'm going to do 14 the way that I think is the easiest way, and 15 we'll do it the other way. Okay? Alright, so method 1. Okay, so for method 1, we are going to hide our y. Okay, just hide it. And so you get x equals negative 3. And then you can plot x equals negative 3, just like that. Okay? And then you will hide your x to get negative 3y equals negative 3. Divide both sides by negative 3, and you get y equals 1, and you can plot that. And then you have your 2 points, and you draw your line. Okay? So that's method 1. Method 2 is to solve for y. Okay, so we have 2x plus y equals 4. So we would subtract 2x from both sides to get y equals 4 minus 2x. Okay, so we start at 4, and then we go down 2 to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. 2 to the right 1. And then we draw a line. You can use either method. Okay? If you use method 1, make sure both points are on graph. Okay, because if this had been like x equals 10, well, we only go up to 6. Okay? So if you're going to use method 1, make sure both of your points are actually on your graph. Alrighty, so now we have just done the first page. And now we're going to move on to the second page. Okay? And for our number 16, x equals 1. So remember, when we have x equals, it's going to be a vertical line. So we are going to go to x equals 1, which is right there, and then draw your vertical line with your arrows. Which means that if we have y equals -1, it's going to be a horizontal line. So we go to y equals -1 and draw our horizontal line. Okay. Alrighty, a good way to remember this is if you think of your alphabet, X and V are very close together, and so are Y and Z. Z as in horizontal, okay? Alright, that's the only way that I can give you guys an easy way to think of it. Alrighty, so next for 18 through 20, we need to write the equation of our line. So always start at your y-intercept, okay? So I always like to list out your B and your M. So what's my B here for this one? Well, it's right here, which would be 3. Okay? And then what is your slope? What's your M? Well, remember, we have to find another pretty point, okay? So we have a pretty point here, and then we have a pretty point right here, okay? Because remember, it's where it crosses your T perfectly. All right, so now we can go all the way down. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and to the right 1. So -7/1 just equals -7. So when we write our equation, it's going to be y equals -7x plus 3. All right. Let's try 19. So your B is 4. And then your slope, find another pretty point. Let me find a super pretty one. This is a super pretty one. Most obvious pretty one. So it doesn't have to be the next prettiest point. Just find the most pretty point to you, and then you can simplify it if you need to, if it's not completely obvious, which is what I think is going to happen here. Okay, so then you draw your triangle and count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and then 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So then our slope is going to be 7/3, which is why I could not find another pretty point. So then y equals 7/3x plus 4. Alrighty, also, if your point is not the prettiest of points, like I almost chose this point right here to be the pretty point, but it wasn't exactly perfect. If you happen to choose that pretty point, you will get partial credit on your quiz, okay? It's not going to be completely wrong, okay? But you have to make sure that you put your big dot, like I do, to show me that that's the point that you're using. If you do not show me your big dots to show me which points you're using, well, then I can't give you partial credit, okay? Get as much partial credit as you can. Alrighty, so for 20, my y-intercept is -5, and then we're going to look for another pretty point, which it could be that one, but I think I'm going to go up to the most obvious pretty point again. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this one probably was that point, which is good. It was. So this one was also a pretty point. Okay. Again, I always triple check to make sure. So negative 9 over 3 will also just equal negative 3. So y equals negative 3x minus 5. Alrighty, and final one for graphing. Let's see, y-intercept of 2, and then another pretty point at, looks like this might be our next pretty point. Okay, so down 2, and then to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So y equals negative 2/5, whoops, negative 2/5 x plus 2. Alrighty, we are almost done, people. We can do it. Alright, so for our next one, so this is what we were doing on Friday, I believe. Yes, Friday. Okay, so we are going to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line through the given point with the given slope. Okay, so this is our point slope form of y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, remember that? Alright, so we have our x1 and our y1 and our slope. Okay, so we're just going to substitute this information in. So y minus negative 1 equals 1/2 times m minus 2. Going to go ahead and make that a positive positive. Y plus 1 equals 1/2 m minus 1. And then you subtract 1 from both sides to get y equals, whoops, this is an x. Sorry, guys. Clearly, I'm just losing my mind. Okay. Alright, and next one. So, y minus y1 equals your m, x minus 4. So y minus 3 equals negative 4x plus 16. Add 3 to both sides. Okay. And then y minus negative 5 equals negative 1/4 x minus 4. Subtract 5 from both sides. So if you notice, I'm not explaining quite as much because I already did massive amounts of explaining for 22 and 23. So you should just be checking your answers for 24 and 25, okay? Alrighty. And for our final four are going to be the hardest four, because remember, these are two-step equations, okay, or two-step problems. So our first step, we have to find the slope. And then our second step is the point slope formula. Okay? Alright, so let's do it. So to find our slope, we have to use that y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So -3 minus -4 over 0 minus 4, positive, positive. So we would get 1 over -4. So this is your m. This is your slope. Okay? So next, we have our x1 and our y1 and our slope. So we can put it back into that y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus -4 equals -1/4 x minus 4. Okay. Y plus 4 equals -1/4 x plus 1. So y equals -1/4 x minus 3. Alright. So 26 through 29 are just a combination of the slope ones that you guys did on questions 3 and 4, and a combination of questions 22 through 25. Alrighty, so let's do 27. Oops, sorry guys. There we go. Alright, and final two. I'm going to scooch this down a little bit, make sure that I give you guys enough space to see. So we have 2 minus 2 over 4 minus -5, which gives us 0 over 9, which is 0, which is our slope. Okay, and then we have y minus 2 equals 0 times x minus -5. So y minus 2 equals 0x plus 0. Y minus 2 equals 0. Y equals 2. Okay? Alrighty, and I want you guys to do 29. When you turn in your quiz review, 29 is going to be the only problem that I actually grade. The rest of it is going to be for completion. So if you do 29 and get it correct, you will get a 100. If you do 29 and get a couple things wrong, depending on what it is, you can get an 80 to a 90. If you do not do 29, but you do the rest of it, it's an automatic 70. If you don't do anything, well, it's a 0. Okay? Alright, so that's how this grading is going to go. Alright, good luck on 29. If you have any questions about it, try 26 through 28 again, okay? I believe in you guys, you can do it. Also, good luck on your quiz tomorrow.